Welcome to the Alabama Forage Focus channel. This is Forage Drops, a weekly series produced by me, Dr. Lilian Silva. I work as a postdoctoral fellow at the Animal Science Department at Auburn University, and my goal with this series is to bring short videos on beef and forage topics with timely information. Today, I'll be talking about alfalfa-bermudagrass mixtures. So, just to get started, a short overview of alfalfa use in the South US. So, when we are looking at the history of alfalfa in the region, there's been a decline of alfalfa acreage in the past due to weather conditions and pest pressure that difficulted persistence over time. However, breeding efforts especially from Dr. Bolton from University of Georgia, helped to develop new cultivars more tolerant to growing conditions and grazing management for this region. However, for most systems, growing alfalfa in monoculture is not economical or would complicate management of herd in specific periods of time because we are talking about a high quality forage but that when graze in per stand requires animal to have free access to hay or just be exposed for few hours per day just to avoid bloat issues. So forest specialists in the south had been thinking what would be the most appropriate system for alfalfa to be used in this region. Well, alfalfa is a legume, so its incorporation into grass systems can increase forage production and nutritive value while increasing input of nitrogen fertilizer. And a best match in terms of soil fertility and drainage is Bermuda grass for this region, especially when using hybrids as Chieftain 85 that will also have high production associated. So, just briefly, when we are interstating alfalfa into Bermuda fields, we are going to be using a 14-inch spacing row. This spacing recommendation comes from previous work conducted at Georgia, where they evaluated 6, 14, and 21 spacing rows, and the most effective to both species was 14 inches that allowed for both species to be persistent and the Bermuda grass should not be overshaded. So after establishment, the first cutting or grazing event of the season must be done when alfalfa is close to 25% blooming, just to allow alfalfa plants to accumulate storage reserves. Then, after that, the next defoliation should be done when alfalfa is close or at 10% blooming, just to optimize both production and quality of forage. This is a year round system in the southeast region because of the growth periods of both species. So, as you can see here on the bottom of this slide, I have pictures from November from last year and December. And this is from an area that we established in fall 2019. And we collect the first year of data last year. Then alfalfa grows throughout the year, just slows down a little bit during cooler periods, while Bermuda grass goes dormant generally in late November or December, and grows back in spring when temperatures start to warm up. As I mentioned before, alfalfa is a legume, therefore it fixes nitrogen and there's no need to use chemical any fertilizer for the system as long as soil fertility is adequate and, and nodulation was properly achieved by alfalfa plant roots. However, there's need to be properly providing soil fertility, especially potassium, because it's crucial to both species. And also, when planting alfalfa, it requires to have proper boron and molybdenum to be able to properly establish nodules on its root system. Then, in terms of management, when grazing, the use of rotational systems is ideal just to allow alfalfa to restore energy reserves while also avoiding uh, for the animals to graze more the alfalfa and lead to decrease on persistence. The recommended stubble height is 4 inches, while the target start point for grazing is around 10% of alfalfa blooming. On our preliminary data from last year, we were able to gather data for animal performance, and average daily gain from June to October was on average 1 pound per, per day. When managing the system under hay production, the cutting interval recommended is around 28 to 35 days, and the stubble height is the same, 4 inches. For those who want to, they can also do baleage with this mixture. And for those of you that are not familiar with, so when we're talking about hay production, we are talking about material that's going to be between baled between 15 and 18% moisture, as opposed to baleage that we are going to be baling the forage harvest between 40 and 6% moisture. So baleage has become a viable option for the southeast region, especially during periods of time that the window for drying the harvest forage is not long. For example, when it's raining often. So this is a option that allows to for the material to be baled with a higher moisture than when producing hay. However, when baling for baleage, it is important to properly seal the material using plastic layers, usually at least 7 layers. It needs to be wrapped. This material needs to be wrapped with. Then it has to be stored in a proper place that allows for the material to stay there and for around 8 weeks until it achieves proper stability after fermentation. Then it can be used to feed animals. So this is what I had for today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Reach out through our page with questions or by my email address on this slide. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page so you can get notifications every time we upload a new video. Thank you so much.